Welcome back to Eyewitness News on the KSCW. Time for our legal counsel segment. 436-1212 is the number to call right now. If you have a legal question, maybe a problem that Chris O'Hara can help you with. Chris joins us this morning. He's in for his dad, Charlie. Good to have you, Chris.
Good to be here.
All right, you ready to get to calls?
Yeah.
All right, let's get right to it. We have one call on hold already for Chris. Go ahead, please. Caller, your question for Chris today. Caller, you're on the air. Go ahead, please. Caller? Oh, okay. All right. Maybe we lost him, Chris. But let's talk a little bit about one of the big stories we've been reporting on today is this new ordinance that the city looks like it's going to pass for Old Town, trying to, I guess, restrict the amount of time people can be loitering after the bars close. What do you think about this, Chris?
Well, you know, obviously the purpose behind all this is, given the incidents that have happened recently in Old Town within probably the last couple months, where there's been some dangerous situations and some shootings. My understanding is they sought the input of many of the businesses and owners around the area, and they were looking to try to make it a more safe, I think, more safe area so that people weren't discouraged from going down there. And in doing so, it appears what they passed is something where it limited the time frame where people could actually be around the Old Town area after when the bars close or during the period that the bars close, and also put into the law in the city ordinance a restriction on when the actual vending outside, the vendors outside, could also be open. Obviously, anytime there's anytime these ordinances go into effect, they're going to affect businesses and people in different ways. While certain businesses obviously would welcome that, other businesses, probably for instance the vendors, that may not be something that they want. So we got different sides on this issue. Obviously, the motivation behind this is probably a good motivation in trying to keep the area safe and trying to encourage people to go down there. You know,
the question, I guess, it really is, at what point does government maybe start to overstep its bounds a little bit and get to the point where it's now affecting the place ability to do business?
Well, and that's something that always, when these ordinances go into effect and when they try to enforce the ordinances, that's something that obviously the legislature, the city council at this point thought that this is something that was needed. And if it's something that needs to be challenged later on and it seems to be infringing on people or businesses' rights, then obviously that's something that would get challenged through the courts. That's why we have the system that we have.
That's right.
Checks and balances.
We'll be following. We'll see how it happens, Chris. All right, let's get to the calls. Go ahead, please, caller. You have a question for Chris today.
Yes, sir. Yes, I was wanting to know what statute of limitations was on small claims when I could file.
Well, the small claims, probably the best thing that you need to do with that is go to the Sedgwick County District Court and get the paperwork to file your small claims action. Many times in civil suits, the statute of limitation is a year. I'm not offhand certain the exact amount of time frame to file on the small claims, but you need to go in immediately and get the information so that you don't lose the ability to bring your action. So when you go into the Sedgwick County District Court, ask them where you need to go to get the filing and get the paperwork and do the proper fee.
Okay. All right. Well, Chris, thanks so much for coming on. Really appreciate you appreciate you coming in today for Charlie. So best of luck to you. And we will come back, continue Eyewitness News on the KSCW.